We have the resources, and we have the manpower and the skills. And I'm quite hopeful that we also now have the political will to push this through. And in the LEDAC, Mr. Chairman, we discussed this with the President, and he's really very keen on coming up with our own defense industry. With the budget season upon us, we're going to have to once again address the still glaring gaps in the modernization of our armed forces. We are, of course, committed to increasing the budget of the AFP. We also have to look ahead, way ahead, beyond their needs over the next year, the future, and into the future of our overall defense strategy. That is why this is why PDIDA should come in, and it's a vital move towards a truly self-reliant defense program. And to be honest, Mr. President, and to look at different countries, the United States, in my personal experience, when the United States needed a sidearm, and the Beretta 92 had won that bid, they required Beretta to set up offices in Atlanta, Georgia, where they built the facilities there to supply their military with the sidearms. They did the same for SIG. When SIG won after the Beretta was terminated, the contract, it was SIG Sauer. SIG Sauer, coming from Europe, had to build their plants within the United States to supply their troops with these pistols. So before I end, Mr. Chairman, I would like to mention also the National Defense Act, which is in the agenda as well. This bill is complementary to PDIDA and to the AFP modernization program. Thus, it is imperative that we pass these bills as well. As a matter of fact, I want to thank the President for discussing the Procurement Act, amendments to the Procurement Act. Because, gentlemen, what necessarily is the cheapest is not the best. We all know that, especially for defense. You may get Mickey Mouse planes. We're going to see them crash day in and day out. So not necessarily that the cheapest is the best. And also, we must give priority to those who build their armaments. Apples to apples yan. Mr. Chairman, when you build a rifle from here in the Philippines, and of course we import a rifle from the United States or Israel or other countries, as long as these Philippine-made rifles pass the stringent tests and requirements, they should be given priority because it is made in the Philippines. And the access is much easier for our troops, and of course it will be supporting our economic agenda of the President.
Yung pinaka-recent, nakita ko sa group chat natin, na itong Chinese Coast Guard na naman, inisprehan ng tubig, binomba ng tubig yung ating Coast Guard din.
Coast Guard.
Ano pong reaksyon ng ating military tungkol dito, ng ating taga-Department of National Defense? Parang paulit-ulit na lang po to at sobra ng pang-api at pang-abuso ginagawa sa atin ng China. Any reaction from the AFP and from the DND?
Maybe the AFP is just beside you, Senator Rafi.
Yeah. Kasi nakita ko yung video, na-high blood po ako. Grabe po yun. Nagdi-deliver lang po ng supply, nire-supply lang po natin Philippine Coast Guard. Yung pong mga sundalo natin o nakabase sa isang lugar doon sa pinag-contest na territory, binomba po ng tubig nitong mga Coast Guard ng China. Meron na ho bang Chinese Coast Guard? Binomba po yung ating Philippine Coast Guard. May reaction na ho ba yung DND tungkol doon? Nakapag-issue na ba, Mr. Chair, yung ating DND? Did they issue any statement? I haven't read it.
Asekdi?
Mr. Chair, the AFP last Saturday issued a statement of condemnation, Mr. Chair, condemning the excessive and unlawful actions against the Philippine Coast Guard, Mr. Chair. The DND shares the same position, Mr. Chair.
Hanggang condemnation na lang tayo, Senator.
Oo nga. Wala tayong kakayahan kasing lumaban.
Hanggang mag-file tayo ng diplomatic protest that is always falling in deaf ears.
Ipasa Diyos na lang natin siguro. Mr. Chair, mag-pray na lang tayo na sana one of these days maawang Panginoon at hindi na maulit yun. Anyway, aside from condemnation from the DND, wala ho kayong ginagawang pakikiusap sa inyong counterparts sa China para sabihin sa kanila, hey, this is too much, diba? Or siguro next time, I don't know, ayoko lang magkaroon tayo ng confrontation between China and the Philippines, Philippine military and the Chinese military. Alam ko naman parang elepante at langgam lang tayo, elepante sila. Pero is it possible na kapag nag-resupply yung ating Philippine Coast Guard ng mga pagkain sa mga katropa natin, escortan po ng ating Philippine Navy? Would that help? Para maging kahit pa paano mapigilan itong Philippine Coast Guard na apihin itong Chinese Coast Guard, apihin natin Philippine Coast Guard. Kung meron
Your
silang
Honor, Your
escort
Chair.
na taga-Philippine Navy.
Your Honor, Your Chair. Actually, every time we make the RORE or the resupply to our troops in Ayungin, the boats, the civilian boats we use, are escorted by the Coast Guard and then the Philippine Navy. Every time we do that.
So yung nangyaring pong yun, meron po,
Meron po.
meron pong escort po yung Philippine Coast Guard.
Yes.
Escort na po yun. Tapos kaya,
Escort.
oh.
And aside from that, aside from the strong condemnation, actually the counterpart, our DAFA in China, sending aggressive message against the people in China, the illegal actions of the Chinese. Sa level po nila, meron tayong very strong statements, the illegal act of the China. And aside from that, the diplomatic protest being carried by DFA, fully supported department.
I'm sure kayo po ay nakikipag-usap na sa inyong counterpart sa Chinese government. Ano usually po ang binibigyan nilang reason kung bakit nila nagawa yun, nagawa ng kanilang mga tauhan yun?
Actually po, sir, it is the Department of Foreign Affairs doing the dialogue with China.
Okay.
Do you have any representative from the Department of Foreign Affairs? Yes. You may answer the question of Senator Rafi.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Senators. Gusto ko lang pong ipaalam na yung Department of Foreign Affairs po kasama ng National Task Force on the West Philippine Sea. Meron ho tayong interagency task force. Meron hong importanteng press briefing na igaganap today, this afternoon. At yung ating National Security Advisor ho na siyang chair ay magbibigay ho ng statement to clarify ano ho yung nangyari at kung ano ho yung ating ginagawa ngayon. So I would not like ho to preempt what the National Security Advisor will be saying this afternoon, but we would just like to reassure ho the body that sa DFA and the other members of the National Task Force are fully aware of the reports and the circumstances that have happened, and we share the concerns of our armed forces of the Philippines and the PCG who were directly affected by the incident, and we also more importantly, the service personnel affected. Yung DFA ho, we are undertaking all diplomatic measures with regards to this incident, and we will provide, it's ongoing ho ngayon, Senator, both in our embassy in Beijing and here in the DFA. We are coordinating ho with our relevant counterparts, and we will provide updates ho, this afternoon on what has been done so far.